Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video I want to walk you through the team that I'm using now. Well, actually I haven't used it, but I have it built. It's ready to go for whenever I need to do crazy Hydra Clash points, and that is my initial team here for Titus against Chimera. What does this team do? Crazy damage. What does this team unfortunately not do? Trials. It only does 5 trials. It's really bad at trials, so you're not going to get any relic materials. But if your clan needs to win Hydra Clash, a team like this is the way to go. We have truly entered the age of Titus. Obviously, the hardest champion to get in this is Androck the Mythical. I've got a replacement for that champion, though, so don't worry about that at all. How does the core idea of this team work? Well, you need 4 different things. The core idea and the 4 things that you need to go with it. The core idea is that Titus, pay attention to his A2 as we go through even the first few turns here. The damage of Titus's A2 scales off of shields. So we want 4 things then. Number 1, we want as many shield buffs as possible. You can get a shield from abilities. In this particular run, we're using Krisk in 9-piece protection. So we actually have a protected shield, which is going to really reduce the randomness of the run. You want a shield from gear. In particular, you want preferably a shield set on someone. You can't use a bolster set because bolster sets can't have their duration extended, so it won't work. It will just expire. A shield set on somebody, you can see how we almost hit for 4 million right there, right? The damage is ramped up. A shield set will give you the best shield, which is going to make it easiest to keep the shield active at the start of the fight when it's really small. Yeah, and then you could also, I believe, use the Volcardiac Heart relic. It's a mythical relic, a standard relic, luckily. Sadly, I don't have one, but I believe the Volcardiac Heart relic can be extended, its duration, and you can also increase its size, and I believe it will also increase Titus's damage. So that give you a huge damage boost. So if you're lucky enough to have a Volcardiac Heart, definitely try one in your Titus team and let me know if it works. I'm curious to see. I believe it does. Either way, you definitely want to have your gear set and your ability shield. So that's 2 shields at least. And cool. That's the core of it. Titus will hit way harder. You want 4. So that's, and for your 4 things that you want, number 1 was your shields. Number 2, you want a champion to grow the shields. For Chimera, that's basically just Wixwell. I don't think anything else is going to work for Chimera. You need a Wixwell. His A2 increases the size of your shields. Yeah, you need a Wixwell. Number 3, you need buff extenders. You need champions to extend the duration of your buff. Luckily, Wixwell does this already. I have Androck and Krisk. You might get away with just 2 buff extenders if you run some cooldown reduction sets. So we're talking 4-piece Merciless, 4-piece Reflex. If you're running either both of those on one of your buff extenders, or you're running some combination of them on both your buff extenders, you might be okay. But it's, it's going to be kind of intensive. The easiest is to just run 3 buff extenders, and then your shield buffs are never going to expire. You're going to have like infinite duration very easily without really too much intensity either in terms of your like speed tuning or anything like that. So yeah, 3 buff extenders is the safe way to do it, but 2 you might get away with. And yeah, that's what, so these are the core things we need. The final thing we need, and this is what sets Chimera apart from Demon Lord. Doesn't quite set it apart from Hydra, but it's probably a good idea for Hydra as well. The Chimera, in his ultimate form, his A3, and he'll do it twice per ultimate rotation, his A3 attempts to remove all buffs from you. The Viper form will try to steal all buffs from you with his A3. Now, he should only do his A3 once, because he'll have block active skills from Titus for the rest of it. But that means that twice in the entire run, you have to get past Viper trying to steal your buffs, and then, I don't know, multiple times. Like, how many times do you fight the ultimate form? Like 8 times or something, and he's going to do it twice, like 16. You have a lot of buff removal attempts from the ultimate form. How do we deal with this? A few different ways. The core way is that we simply have to have loads of resistance. Okay, you need loads of resistance. If I come over here, this is Chimera on Ultra Nightmare. The ultimate form has 400 accuracy. The Viper form has 450. So we'll go with the Viper form. It has more. You need at least 555 resistance, preferably almost 600. Sorry, I've gone into the wrong thing. You need a ton of resistance to get through safely. Most likely, you're going to use increased resistance buff instead. That's why I've got Androck in. Androck is giving us not only increased resistance, but he's extending our buffs, and his passive is giving us tons of extra resistance. So basically, I can have enough resistance without really needing to build any resistance at all because of Androck. Now, if you don't have Androck, I think the best budget replacement for him is a former fusion. It is a legendary, though. It's actually Oella. Oella gives you a big turn meter boost, which is another thing Androck's doing. She gives you increased resist. She also is going to increase your buffs, and she's healing you. She also does bring decreased speed, A1 as well, and she gives you some healing on her passive if you hit pretty hard. She gives you a resist aura, but only for dungeons, so it's not going to help. But she is like the ultimate budget option for this team. I still think her animation is weird, that like her wings are animated and there's some stuff happening on her face. The rest of her body seems like way too still. I don't know. But yeah, she's giving you the increased resist, turn meter boosting, buff extension, and healing, same as Androck. She's just not giving you the flat resistance like he is with his passive, but she's a brilliant alternative. But yeah, you need enough resistance for your buffs not to get stolen. Now, what I have done with this run, you cannot have your gear set shield be protected. Doesn't work, okay? Like I said, bolster set gives you a protected shield, but you can't extend its duration, so it's useless. Your shield set shield is just always going to have a chance to be stolen. Even if you had, hypothetically, 10 billion resistance, the Chimera still has a 3% chance every single time to just remove your buffs anyway, or steal your buffs anyway. And there's nothing you can do about it. Sucks, but there you go. We're 26 million now. It's crazy. It sucks, but there's nothing you can do, okay? It's just going to happen. Now, the one thing you can do for your ability shield, you can have that be protected. So, for example, in this team, Krisk is providing my ability shield. I have him in 9-piece protection. We just restart the run until Titus has a protected shield from Krisk. And at least that removes that 3% chance from the equation, and it's going to make our life a heck of a lot easier. That's one of the things you can do to make life much easier. But yeah, that's the core of the team. Lydia is in for decreased defense weaken. She also brings block buffs. She brings fear for the ram form, though that's not very important. She's bringing us increased speed for the team. We hit for almost 40 million right there. Increased speed for the team. She's brimstone as well for a bit of extra damage. Lydia's pretty sick. I think a great replacement for Lydia, if you have increased speed elsewhere, i.e. from Krisk, which means that you couldn't really replace Krisk, but Ramantu might actually be even better. So Ramantu, he has true fear, but he can't place it on a single target. So he doesn't have fear like Lydia, but he has decreased defense, weaken, decreased speed, and block buffs. So he's bringing us 4 debuffs that we really want. And he can also remove buffs should the boss get increased speed, which it is getting sometimes for me with my team. Potentially, you could use Ramantu instead of Lydia. It's a strong alternative. Then you need to find your increased speed somewhere else in the team. Like I said, I could use Krisk for it here, and it might be an improvement for me. If you don't have Krisk, you might struggle, though, because you really want the increased speed to take more turns. So, yeah, it sort of depends on what champions you have and what you can make work. Wixwell cannot be replaced. Oella instead of Androck. Alternatively, any buff extender, or potentially just any increased resist jump, and you just build enough resistance on Titus, like 600 resist. It is a possibility. Just your damage is really going to suffer, but you could make it work without an increased resist buff extender. It's just going to be way harder. And yeah, Krisk is in. He's giving us decreased attack, but we could get that from Wixwell, so it's not a huge deal. And it's doing buff extension. So you could probably replace Krisk with almost anyone as well. That's extending your buffs would probably be fine. So yeah, you've got lots of options in terms of what you're doing. For the AI preset, we've got a couple of things going on. Not too much. I think I did have Chris. I can show you here just to make it simple. Probably the easiest way to do it, and then we'll look at the gear as well. But for the AI preset, I've got Androck. He's the same on every single form. We're going to prioritize this, which is the turn meter and the buffs, and then his buff extension. We don't let him transform. Krisk is set up like this. I actually had him set up here. I'm going to remove this. I actually don't want him. We just want Krisk to not use his A3. It's giving us increased speed, but we've got that already. We don't need the provoke. I just want him to extend our buffs, and I want him to try place decrease speed. Pretty simple. Lydia can do whatever she wants, but we're going to turn off her moves on the ram form. It doesn't matter. She is my ram target. We just want her to put the fear as consistently as possible. The logic here is simple. It's that one of the recent changes to the ram form. He reflects less damage if he is under fear, and he reflects no damage if he's under true fear. One thing you could do, but you would have to manual it. I don't know if I mentioned, this is a full auto team, as you can see. If you give Lydia the blessing, Nature's Bounty, it's a rare blessing, it will give her a chance to turn her fear into a true fear. If you manualed the run, you could use Titus's A2 against the ram form when it has true fear, because there's no damage reflection and you'll be fine. If you ever use Titus's A2 and the ram is under either fear, normal fear, or no fear, Titus will just one-shot himself. So, yeah. Certainly on auto, it wouldn't work. And this is the goal of this is to be auto. So yeah, Titus, though, as you can see, we always turn off his A3, always. We priority 1 on his A2, but we turn off the A2 against the ram form because he'll just kill himself with the damage reflection. Wixwell, we just have priority 1 on Tempest of Knowledge, and simple enough. And that's sort of the concept there. And you can sort of see how it works. Again, like 27 million here. Boom. Bang. Simple as. Let's look at the gearing. That's the other thing to look at. There's definitely some interesting tweaks we could do with the gearing. So we look at Titus first, the main man. He is simple enough. I can still improve his gear a lot. So there's room to grow here. But you want 6-piece Merciless for sure. 2-piece Zeal, I think, is probably the ideal thing to combo with it. For that, it's basically giving you 12% extra damage. But it's kind of, obviously, this is a difficult build. 6-piece Merciless is ideal. If you don't have the potential to do 6-piece Merciless, it's so much better because it gives you cooldown reduction as well. It really is the way to go. But 4-piece Savage would do. Maybe 2-piece Cruel for extra ignore defense. But really try to get the Merciless in. I have him with about 200 speed, 350 crit damage, 6,000 defense, 318 resist. Again, you will need way more resistance if you don't have Androck. Again, if you're aiming for 600 with increased resist, you need 400 resist and the increased resist buff, and you would be okay. I have him with the Cat's Gaze. That is ideal. I do need to give him a boss killer gem. It would be 10% more damage. I only have the one on the account, but I need to switch it to him. And we could actually... Yeah, I need to fix his gems. It's very much placeholder. I have no blessing for him, sadly. You would give him Heaven Cast from 1 to 5-star. It would give you a bit more damage, up to 15. It would be 15% more damage, basically at 5-star. It should be pretty juicy. At 6-star, Crushing Rend. Loads of ignore defense. It is a massive damage increase, but it's obviously difficult to get. I have him with these masteries. They should be fine. That's Titus. So yeah, as much ignore defense as you can. About 200 speed, so he does take some turns, but you want him to be fairly slow. And yeah, potentially 400 resist. Or 600 if you've got no increased resist champ. Or else you just run the run over and over again with like 500 resist and pray that you get lucky. Doesn't sound too ideal to me. But there you are. Krisk is up next. So I have, not this one. I have him now in 9-piece protection. This is something I tried. The goal here is to protect the shield buff to remove some of the randomness. And we're going to get some damage boost as well, which is cool. You could run a lower, like even only 4-piece protection could work. You could do 4-piece protection, 4-piece... No, you guess you... Yeah, 4-piece protection, 4-piece shield set. Maybe could work, actually. And maybe you could protect both shields that way. You just have to... It'll be like be a really low chance, but maybe it would work. I don't know. That's something to look into the future. This is what I've run on him for now. These are his stats for now. Pretty stat intensive. He needs a lot of stats to survive. He almost dies to the ram form for me. I have him with Gilded Dragonstone. A square thing is nice because it ups his chance of decreased speed. But yeah, that's him. Maybe relics to help him survive would be good because it's hard to keep him alive. His Harmonic Impulse for Hydra, we could switch that. And he is like this. Cruelty would be ideal for this, or Brimstone, I suppose. Lydia, I have Lydia in 9-piece of Feral. These are her masteries. She is coming in with these sort of stats. And she has a Perch Shadow for some extra turns. Should be fine. And Brimstone. I have Wixwell is actually in shield right now. Yeah, he might be better, probably would be better in 4-piece reflex to have more cooldown reduction so he can use this move more. But probably 4 reflex, 4 merciless is ideal. Because obviously Wixwell is in every Titus team, I've given him the shield set for now to just keep things simple, right? He's always going to be in the team, so him always having shield. I might switch this around, though, in future. Like, if I'm locking in that Krisk to every Titus team, which does seem likely at the moment, maybe I switch Krisk into the shield set. And we actually have Wixwell in Reflex Merciless instead to just spam his A2. Because if you grow the shield faster at the start of the fight, you'll do more damage sooner. Obviously, there's a damage cap to the shield, but it'll make it better. He has Cruelty. He's got these masteries. He's got Orb of Transfixion. Doesn't really matter. Something, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Increasing his defense would probably be better. These are his stats. He would prefer to have accuracy to land the decrease attack, but because I've got Krisk, it doesn't really matter. One thing to note, actually, I didn't mention this before. You do need to make sure Titus, his damage scales off crit damage, defense, and shield. HP makes his damage worse, so no HP, yeah? But you need to have him not the highest defense on your team. Otherwise, he'll be targeted by the lion, and he will die. It'll be really bad. Oh, I had to restart the run. I think one of our shields got removed. Let me see. Where's the lion? The old lion. So the lion targets the highest defense member on your team. I have Krisk tanking it. Krisk actually comes pretty close to dying. It gets kind of gnarly. So yeah, you need a lot of defensive stats on the Krisk, or Reviver perhaps, or something like that. But my Krisk was able to survive, but it was kind of close. Like, you see, he really gets slammed, but he heals back up to full because he's Krisk. He's got a million continuous heals. But that does get a bit scary. You need to have someone else your highest defense champ, not Titus, so he doesn't get targeted. The lowest crit damage champion will be targeted for Ram form. I have Lydia as the lowest crit damage, so she gets targeted by Ram form. And she just spams her fear. We're not looking to do damage against the Ram. Where's the Ram? We're not looking to do damage. We're just looking to get through it kind of nice and peacefully. And the fears from her spamming A1 will reduce the damage Titus takes from his shield. Doesn't really matter, honestly, for the second time you do the Ram form because your shield's so big, but it's good for the first one just so you can grow your shield a bit faster. The bigger your shield is, the bigger Wixwell grows it. So yeah, Wixwell 1A2 will more than make up for whatever this 3,000 damage or 20k damage. On the second Ram form, no problem. He'll easily outgrow it again and max your shields. On the first Ram form, it's a bit scary. So just watch out for that. And Androck, for me, is in 9-piece protection because he's putting so many buffs, so he's giving us more damage per buff. Triumph Necrotus for more turn meter. He's got these masteries. These are his stats. You're actually pretty, you've got a lot of flexibility with your stats and what you're doing. You're looking for good speeds on people and some decent defensive stats so they don't die. But, I mean, you can see here, we've got shields on everyone. Like, if we just resisting, no one is in danger of dying apart from the Krisk would need some more damage, but some good defensive stats. But other than that, we're pretty cool. And that's the team. I didn't have the best luck on this run. This run was a bit unlucky. We only did 650 million damage, which was 8.99. Last week, I did way better, just better luck, right? You're going to have some luck depending. Does Krisk land decrease speed or not? If he does, great. If he doesn't, you're going to lose out some turns. Does the Merciless proc on Titus at a good time? Yes or no? Does Helm Smasher proc on Titus? Big damage swing, if so. So yeah, we did much better last week. We did 10 billion damage. I'm expecting that to be sort of the consistent number. But yeah, so you're looking at around 10 billion if you copy my builds and have these champions. About 10 billion damage from Clash. I think we can improve this, obviously, by improving the gear a little bit and switching up the champions. But yeah, you only do 5 trials. Like, that's all we did. So funny enough, this is the team I'm going to be using for Clash, Chimera Clash, to do just ludicrous damage. Like, I'd be out damaging this guy's 2 keys. Like, look at this. This player has Elva, Krisk, Mikage, Toshiro, and Lydia. It's a really good team. He's doing about 3 billion points. Yeah, we can beat both of these teams with one key. Like, look at this. Again, it's a really solid team. 3 billion points. Like, the clash potential for a Titus team is just crazy. The downside is because you're not doing any trials, you're gonna basically lose out on like all the relic fragments. So that's a big problem. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking to build. I still need to do it. A second team and have 2 teams, broad teams, and we have to tweak them for each rotation, perhaps a little bit. The Titus team should be perfect for every rotation. He's void. You don't need to care. So Titus team for maximum clash points, crazy clash points when we want to push in clash. Then for weeks where we're not pushing too hard in clash, we can focus on trials. I'm going to be building for each rotation a team with the goal to get as many of the mythical materials as possible. I don't really care about anything else, to be honest. Just give me the mythical materials. And funny enough, I've seen a lot of people in my clan and in several clans. What they're doing now is just running Ultra Nightmare twice with teams that are designed to just get mythical materials, because you can get like 25 potentially per run. You can get like 50 mythical materials per week. If you get them all, like build a team just designed to get all the mythical materials. It's not easy to do. It's really hard. But you just run Ultra Nightmare twice for maximum mythical materials, just trying to maximize your mythical relic generation. That's kind of the best way to progress your account. It's ridiculous, but that's where it is. So yeah, Titus team for maximum points. Otherwise, a team designed for trials. This sucks for trials, but there you go. Few replacements suggested as well. This is my record so far, about 11 billion clash points. So you're looking at about 20 billion clash points per week in Chimera Clash with this sort of team. And like I said, we suggested some replacement champions. You know, there's quite a bit of flexibility in terms of the gear and everything like that. The real key is Wixwell plus Titus. Lydia is not hard to get. Some other buff extenders, something to keep you alive a little bit. Krisk actually somewhat at risk because the shield, his shield gets destroyed because of ally protection. Maybe a different buff extender might be better. Different buff extender and bring Romantu instead of Lydia, and maybe it's super clean. A couple of buff. I don't know. We'll see. But there you go. That's my initial team. Let me know what you're running with your Titus and what your Chimera Clash score is. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it was helpful and interesting. I mean, the great thing is it's full auto. Just sit back, relax. There is obviously luck involved. Does your shield get removed or not by the boss? So you might have to rerun it a few times, but it's full auto. So you can sit back and chill and get crazy clash points. Full auto every week, just like so. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.